for shot.
We got shots fired. Sounded like an automatic firearm.
Copy, code red, shots fired.
We have an active shooter. We have an active shooter inside the
Mosque.
warehouse.
Active shooters, the controversies that surround them, and our opinions. And now it's Shots Fired with your hosts, TJ Kurgan, Fat Dark Earth, and Dinah Death Milberg.
Welcome back, everyone, to another shit-filled, exciting podcast. Shots Fired, episode 22.
22.
Muscle Alaikum.
Fucking the Crusades start now, boys.
God,
Jesus Christ.
All right.
Well, hey, we are doing the Shots Fired podcast. It's not even, 12 hours, 24 hours after the New Zealand shootings at the mosques that left 49 Muslims dead, another 20 seriously wounded. We got a lot to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot. Where do we even begin?
Fuck if I guess a brief description of what happened, like people don't already fucking know.
Well, right, let's go after it. What happened?
Basically a dude fucking listening to cruise tunes, rolls up in his Subi, jumps out, grabs some gats, and proceeds to first-person shooter it up inside a mosque.
Right. So, I mean, this is not just active shooter. This is active shooter 2.0. This is straight up fucking gamer first person. The guy puts what I can only assume is a helmet cam or a head cam of some kind on, like we wear when we're doing 3-gun.
Yep.
And he live streamed to Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram simultaneously, which shows technological proficiency at a high level. We don't even fucking do that, right? So he live streams driving to the mosque using his turn-by-turn navigation, and he gets there and nonchalantly, he's wearing black multicam black, I should say.
Yeah.
And he gets there. He's got tons of guns in the car, a couple AR-15s, a couple of other shotguns, possibly Benellis or something like that. And every gun is decorated like a gamer's gun would be.
It looked like the whole thing he was going for was almost like watching like the Joker from Batman.
His graphics that he put on his gun reminded me a lot of the South African graffiti art.
Yeah.
Because it's all big, thick ink pen or paint pen sticks.
Yeah.
But
how long do you think before somebody clones his rifle and we see Cerakote jobs with like fucking white letters all over rifles?
Somebody's gonna do it, and the first guy to do it's gonna get a lot of hate. Like, oh, what the fuck? And then
everybody else will be doing it.
Yeah. Then suddenly.
Hey, speaking of that, before we get into what else this guy did, the thing that fucked with me the most this morning, after I woke up, I rolled over in bed, kissed my dog, and I get a fucking a Facebook message from Jason over at U.S. Veterans Foundation, actually at Jody's Meat.
Yeah.
So he sends me over this video, and I start watching it, and I'm like, okay, this guy's smoking Muslims in a mosque, and he went out to the car, and he got another gun, and he came back in and shot them all again to make sure they were dead, and yada, yada, yada. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching here? And so, of course, next step was I Google New Zealand, because I could see that it was from New Zealand, and, then the news hit me. But, shit, where was I going with that?
I don't know, the shocking part you said.
Oh, the fucking super shocking part. This is overwhelming to me. There's so much information in my head right now.
Yeah, this is a lot.
The shocking part was, I one of my friends on Facebook posted something that was like, this is a horrible event. This guy's no better than ISIS. Yada yada yada, and he got a lot of likes on it. And I was like, oh, you know what? Let's as tactical shit. Even though we're big into we don't like Muslim extremists at all. We're not fans of Islam in any shape or form. Still, killing of innocent civilians probably not cool. So I put out this post that basically says that. I just stole it from a guy, put it out, and we lost like 200 or 300 fans. Bam, gone. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? And so then I put out kind of a too soon meme, going the other way with it, and bam, we lost like 200 fans. That's how fucking polarized this thing is already. Right?
And it's been hours. I mean, literally hours. People are still finding out about it, and it's already this.
And so then I'm like, okay, fuck it, fucktards. I got to find out what you're thinking here, because it's obviously a polarized thing within our fan base, right? Which are hardcore motherfuckers. And so I put out a poll. And the poll, I think we could show it on the YouTube version of this video. The poll basically said, hey, we're not talking about our opinion. We want your opinion. And it had the ability, you could either answer, one question or the other. And it was, how did you feel about the New Zealand shooting? How do you feel about the New Zealand shooting? And the first question was, it was a horrible or the first answer was, it was a horrible tragedy. Mm-hmm. And the other one, tongue-in-cheek, was, it was fucking great.
Yeah.
Over 5,000 votes so far.
It's up to almost 7,000.
Almost 7,000 votes.
Fast.
And last I looked, was 14% of the Tactical Shithead Nation thought that this event was fucking great.
It's damn near still the same. 85% tragedy, 15%.
Oh, wow, we're up to 15% now.
It fucking great.
Yeah, I mean, that's hardcore, man. And that's, but that speaks to the nature of what's happening in America, the nature of what's happening within the gun community, and globally, with this event. I think this event is something different.
Well, I think part of the division between our fan base is that, Islam and that kind of shit has branded itself as a religion of violence, even though they try to put it as a religion of peace. And when bad shit happens to people that we as Americans have deemed as terrorists for the better part of the last, since 9/11, that people are numb to it. Like, all right, that's your comeuppance. I mean, whatever, fuck you.
No, I think I wholeheartedly agree, too, that, another aspect in continuing with your saying is even the people who aren't saying, sucks to be you, but had it coming, the guys who are even against this aren't looking at all the Muslim attacks done because of the fact that you've literally become accustomed to it. Where is it even shocking anymore when you hear of, I didn't
even feel weird after watching it. I didn't even feel dirty.
No, how many of these?
There's a 17-minute, this video was live for 17 minutes.
Yeah.
It was on the internet, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, reportedly, for over an hour, and now it lives in basically the dark web. Everybody, Facebook and Instagram and everybody's doing their thing to try to delete this video. We do have the video. I believe you will be able to see it on TacticalSht.com if you dig deep enough. We want to protect our servers and everything, but, there's a lot that can be learned from this video. How quickly things can go to shit and how efficient a bad guy with a rifle can be.
Well, do you want to break down the video right now, or do you want to just talk about it? Like, I don't think we should show it on the podcast.
No.
Like, just from when he exits the vehicle, and I'm sure if you people have seen screenshots of it by now, but just when he exits the vehicle, the level of professionalism that the shooter uses when he enters is top tier. I mean, it's very militaristic, very systematic.
He looks like a trained Special Forces vet type guy in his movements, the way he flowed through the building, the way he transitioned from target to target, the way he was getting incredible split times, double tapping, and sometimes even...
he did at one point, it looks like he's even done a few failure to stop drills. And the fact that, infantry's infantry, special forces are not. The movements and how you take down a house is still relatively the same. The fact that it didn't seem to shock him or anything at all. He didn't get overwhelmed, which, that's a target-rich environment, and a lot of people would get overwhelmed. He's almost like the dude's possibly been in a gunfight before or something, or rehearsed it a lot. It was shocking to see how non-shocking it was for him.
Well,
just calmly moving through. That dude comes at him from the side and blindsides him. He reacts, turns, and does the failure to stop drill. It was no big deal. That was, god damn, that's not something you would see normally from someone who just decided to pick up a gun and shoot a place up.
Right.
He had experience with firearms. The firearms were tricked out to kind of do what he was doing. And he seemed
tricked out by meaning you had.
He had everything set up. If he wanted to go kill people, he had everything set up correctly to go kill people. He had side by sides. He had a sidecar. He had a pop up reticle for fast target acquisitions. His split times were solid. His transitions between rifles were solid. You couldn't tell the difference between him shooting and any of our competition videos, as far as he wasn't even using the sights when he went close quarters. He was doing point shooting, which he was looking up over the rifle so he could better get a view of his surroundings. So I mean, he has some training, or he has some experience with firearms.
He's wearing the helmet cam or the head cam.
Yeah, it's up on top, but it's 12 o'clock.
And as he's shooting people, you see him check the hallway. You see him check. He's still pulling the trigger, pop, 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 putting shots on target. He's checking his 6. But the thing that leads me to believe that he's not military, did y'all notice? His mags were in his multicam black plate carrier, shell casings up.
Yeah, that's a little odd.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first thing they teach you, right? Brass to the grass.
Man, I've seen all kinds of stupid, fucked up shit on people's gear before, though. I mean,
but he even had his own morale patch.
Yeah.
With his logo, the same logo that shows up on his manifesto.
Yeah.
We haven't even gotten to that yet. This guy published how many page?
65.
I thought it was
like that.
75.
65 or 75.
Here, wait, we got it right here.
It's a big fucking manifesto.
Let's go to the last page of the manifesto. 61 pages is what we have in our little hands here. So maybe we're missing something. But we, the three of us, just got done reading this, and it's interesting, to say the least. So he publishes his manifesto. Mm-hmm. He goes on what was the image-based forum?
He goes on 8chan, otherwise known as Infinity Chan.
Is that a place you hang out?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, this guy was big in the meme culture.
I wouldn't say he was big in the meme culture. He was current in the local environment and the internet culture. So, I mean, he understood things that people that hang around on message boards would understand. There's a copy-paste inside the manifesto. There's inside jokes inside the manifesto of people that are, fluent on the internet and people that are up to beat on what's going on. You can read between the lines, and you can tell when he is serious in the manifesto, but you can also tell when he's taking the piss.
What
does that mean?
Is that an internet thing?
No, taking the piss is a British term for fucking around.
Oh, gotcha. I'm not British, so
no, he's just taking the piss out of it. He's just making a joke of it. Which,
so like this, where in his manifesto on page 19, where he's asking himself questions before the event happened. Okay, he says, "Were you taught violence and extremism by video games, music, literature, or cinema?" ? And he answers himself, "Yes. Spyro the Dragon 3 taught me etho-nationalism. Fortnite trained me to be a killer and to floss on the corpses of my enemies."
Yeah, flossing. It's a victory dance. It's no
Fortnite.
different than teabagging.
So we're talking about this guy's transitions and his split times and his tactical awareness and his kit. And he's basically saying he learned how to do all this on Fortnite.
Which is doubtful.
Yeah, I call bullshit.
Fortnite, you get shot at and you build a fucking house. I would say it's more like...
So it's like Minecraft with guns?
No, yeah, kind of. I would say his shooting was more like PUBG or Call of Duty. I mean, his gear setup was
it wasn't like Call of Duty, because he would have got a kill streak, he would have had a tactical nuke, and we would be reading a whole different story right now.
Well, I mean, had a bolt action with an ACOG on it.
Yeah.
Sorry, we make light of these kind of horrible tragedies because that's the only thing you can do.
I mean, the important part to remember is this guy's he's not a nut. He's not a crazy person. This is all well thought out. It's well explained.
Yeah.
I mean,
Let's spend some time explaining what you're saying, because it sounds nuts that you just said the guy's not a nut.
He's not a nut.
Explain it.
He's not a nut. In his manifesto, he goes through exactly why he did what he did, his thought process. He explains it all. I mean, is it rational? No. Is what he did illogical? No. I mean, in
his mind, he had a very valid reason.
It was a valid reason.
Whether we believe it's right or wrong is irrelevant. In his mind, he did not react in a mentally unstable sort of way. In his mind, it was an extremely justified, thought out, and listed reasons why he thought it was okay.
And his number one reason was what?
It was overpopulation.
Yeah, it was basically the birth rate of the Europeans as compared to what he called the invaders, which are the Muslims, that he felt or feels, he's still alive, because he was taken into custody, right? He feels that Muslims are taking over all of Europe, which in fact they are.
He referenced a video that basically summarized a very long video in a very long thing of literature he wrote up on this, that by 2050, the Muslim population will dominate most of North America and pretty much all of Europe. According to statistics and other things and a video he cited, that it will make up a majority of the population. Already is starting to go that way, but by 2050, the Anglo-Saxon, European, white, whatever the fuck you want to call it this week, will be completely outnumbered. And
they'll become the minority, which he says it's never good to be the minority, so don't let it happen. And he blames it all on birth rate. And birth rate's a really serious problem.
Birth rate and immigration.
Yeah, birth rate and immigration. It's been a serious problem for a long time. You know, I'm in CEO organizations here in the United States where we talk about birth rate being a problem. You know, the birth rate to sustain a nation over the next 100 years is 2.0. You have to have 2 kids on average per family in order to sustain a nation or a culture or anything. And the birth rate in America right now is 1.7. It's unsustainable. However, the Mexicans, for coming in, they bring us up to 2.2 because they like to fuck. Right? And they don't believe in abortion. They got good, strong Catholic values. Yep. And so the Mexicans actually give us a sustainable birth rate. The Europeans don't have that luxury. Russia's 1.7, China's 1.2, you know, and everything in between is somewhere less than 2. And the Muslims are like, their birth rate are like 5.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it was higher than that. It was like
Is it really?
It was like 8.2.
Oh, they're like fucking rats.
Yeah, it was very, very high. Well, I can honestly say it, too, between the whole multiple wives and shit like that when I was over there, man, you would see houses and just little rugrats all over the fucking place. There's kids all over the Muslim societies, which is amazing because they spend most of the time porking each other in the ass. So you'd be confused because they aren't that big of a fan of women. But I mean, I've even asked them personally when I was over there, what's the deal? And they don't think they're gay. That men are for pleasure, women are for reproduction. They're aware of reproduction, that they're supposed to stay on top of that. And they do. I mean, they have a shit ton of kids running around.
Yeah, okay. So basically what this guy's saying is that we're losing the war of our nation. We're losing the war of our individuality through overfucking from the Muslim community. And them just fucking us out of existence because we will be the minority, which is what he's saying in the manifesto.
That's what he's saying. It's not what you're saying.
Yeah.
Combined with immigration, which that's no big secret throughout Europe.
Yeah, the Syrian refugee crisis has just destroyed Europe.
Yeah. And Iraq, everybody moving away from ISIS and coming over to Europe, France and Germany specifically.
You mentioned ISIS, so this is a very ISIS-like attack.
Yeah.
You know, matter of fact, when I was half asleep this morning watching the video and I saw the white squigglies all over the guns, I thought, oh, fuck, here's an ISIS attack. Or my next assumption was this is a video of ISIS being executed in northern Syria. You know, we've heard that that's been going on over the last couple of days. But then I realized it was really just this white guy in New Zealand smoking people, and that all came to light.
If somebody took the audio off and said, hey, check this video out, this is an Islamic radical running through a church executing people.
Yeah, it would have looked it looked like an ISIS-type hit. It was ISIS-type marketing. You know, even ISIS is one of the ones that said, if you're going to die for Allah, you do it live. You know, use your live streaming.
No, they've been great. That's one thing Al-Qaeda completely fucking lacked on because they're stuck in caves. ISIS took full advantage of social media and using it to their benefit.
Yeah, if you ever want to read more about that, I've written an article called Murder Marketing. You hear me bring it up every once in a while. We'll put a link in this podcast because it never changes.
No.
And basically the idea being that, 5% of Americans are sociopaths, 4% of Americans are psychopaths, and that's pretty much the same in any culture. Just replace the nation, which gives you almost 10%. 10% of any nation is nuts. They're capable of violence or they enjoy violence, right? And if you can influence 1% of that 10% to actually do your bidding by doing live streams, by doing beheading videos, by doing stuff, then that's how you can use marketing to have people take action on your behalf. This guy says he was motivated by events and by other people. We'll get into all that in a minute.
There's so much with this. It's almost how do you even go from one to another?
This is probably going to be like a 3-show type thing. This was not what we planned on doing today. But let's get into this. So in the first, on page 6 of his manifesto, it says, "Who are you?" And he says, "I'm just an ordinary white man, 28 years old, born in Australia, Working class, low-income family. My parents are Scottish, Irish, and English. I had a regular childhood without any great issues. So he's putting that out there like, look, I wasn't an abused child. Don't blame it on that. You know, yada, yada, yada. I had little interest in education.
He did this of his own cognizance.
I did not attend a university. However, the writings are very intellectual. And then he says he made money in Bitcoin. He used that money to travel. And then it says more recently, I've been working part-time as a kebab removalist. What the fuck does that mean, Chris? A kebab? Is that where you pull the wood stick out of the beef?
No, that's where you remove people that eat kebabs.
Oh, gotcha. So that's a joke? Is that him taking a piss?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
all right.
inside
I'm
joke.
starting to catch on to this
That
internet.
term still doesn't quite
This
work.
internet lingo. This guy literally trolled the world with this whole thing.
You know what? I don't really see any difference between this guy and Killdozer.
Oh, yeah, the dude with the bulldozer.
He's just a man.
Did Killdozer actually kill people? I
Killdozer
don't
didn't
know
kill
much
people,
about
but he was a man that had too much that fucking said, you know what? Today's the day. And that's kind of what this guy did. He goes, you know what? They're fucking me out of existence. Today's the day.
Kind of like Falling Down, you know, he wanted cheese.
What?
Falling Down, the movie, where the guy orders the fucking cheeseburger and he ends up getting it without cheese or whatever and starts killing people. Never mind. I'm showing my age. We'll talk about that later. So he says, I'm just
Was
a...
Charlie Chaplin in that?
No, he wasn't Charlie
Was
Chaplin.
that in
you
black and
fuck.
white or was it a radio play? Did you have to imagine
Jesus
the pictures
Christ.
in your head?
I'm just a regular white man from a regular family who decided to take a stand to ensure the future of my peeps.
So that statement, and then he used it multiple times where he did this. That kind of references another quote he made, not to jump ahead in his manifesto, of that something about ensuring this and something to do it for the white race, to keep white children going and shit like that, is actually a direct quote from 14 Points, written by an anti-American white nationalist, David Lane,
Right.
who was an American,
But he was
but he was anti-American because
White.
he is anti-globalist, anti-capitalist.
Can you be a nationalist if you don't like the nation you're in?
That's why no, so he
These
believed
people are a little confused.
white nationalists believe that not in, a white America, but a white nation of its own.
Right.
That they should have
I'm-
their own.
I have trouble with the definition of white nationalist.
I think they have trouble
Right.
with their own definition.
Nationalist means that you are loyal, faithful, and love your nation.
You're a
Yeah,
patriot.
Right? You're a patriot. We're all nationalists. Now, in case you haven't noticed, if you're listening to this podcast, I know sometimes we use ebonics a little too much, but we're white. But we're not white nationalists by definition of white nationalists, because what they do is they try to take the fact that you're white and a nationalist
And combine the two to white
and to turn that into somehow Nazi.
No,
right?
No.
White nationalist, as in Nazism, is literally when you believe that there should be a white-only nation, that there's no interracial
Right, which is white
marriage.
supremacy,
Yeah.
not white nationalism.
white-
But white supremacy has a scary tone. White nationalist sounds more like an established, legitimate political movement.
I think to clear it up, because what it is in pure definition of white nationalist is a patriot, somebody that believes in their nation, but they also want to see the further of the white race of the European, Scottish, Irish.
Develop and maintain the white national identity. That's according to Wikipedia.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
But then there's kind of subcategories of that of no interracial marriage.
Yeah.
They believe that the white race
Well, that's
should
the further-
rule over everything else.
Yeah, the furthering of the white Anglo race. Yeah.
Yeah. Want to bring back the Roman Empire. 'cause
I
that was so
definitely
effective.
don't fall into that because I do believe it's all pink on the inside.
Well, that's a true story.
It is
True
true story.
facts.
I learned that when I was a young boy.
All cats are gray in the dark. My dad used to say that. I don't know what it means.
So let's
they
go back to the ISIS thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Part of Shots Fired is how is this going to affect us moving forward? Already on the news this morning, even on Fox News, okay, even on the white nationalist news, Fox News, they're basically repeating over and over and over again that white nationalists are the new ISIS. What does that mean? That means that the liberal media is preparing to espouse white patriots of any nation as the new enemy of the state and that need to be eradicated at this, like ISIS.
It's a fine line because what that actually means and what they're trying to say are two different things. No, I'm not a fucking white nationalist by any means. But what they're trying to say is anybody who's white. Just forget political views. I mean,
if you're white, you like guns, and you're conservative, even though this guy hated conservatives.
Yeah.
You know, they're gonna try to.
Yeah, no, it straight said that.
Yeah.
In his manifesto.
That's a super racist comment. If you're white, you like guns.
No,
I wasn't
white
saying
and
that.
like guns.
Yeah, if you're white like
and
guns,
or.
you're a fucking terrorist. I mean,
Right. If you like Bibles,
That's
you know,
what
the
they're
whole.
saying.
I guess fucking cowbunga it is.
So he says here that his mission was to take revenge on the invaders for the hundreds of thousands of death caused by foreign invaders in European lands throughout history. On page 7 and 8, though, it involves us. Mm-hmm. And this is the part, when I first heard this morning, I thought, oh, for Christ's sake, this is the liberal media injecting Second Amendment gun control in a shooting that didn't even fucking happen here. You know that it's coming, right?
Oh,
it's already been happening all day. It's like, oh my God, there was a mass shooting in New Zealand. Take all the Americans' guns
I can
away.
already hear CNN
Oh,
spouting
for
off
Christ's
this
sake.
is now a United States
But
problem.
that's part of this guy's plan. It's happening just like he wanted it to.
Watch them connect the dots that this happened because he was actually inspired by mass shootings within the U.S.
Listen to what he
Watch them
says
spin
on
that.
page 7 and page 8. Finally, to create this is the last reason why he did his attack. Finally, to create conflict between the two ideologies within the United States on the ownership of firearms in order to further the social, cultural, political, and racial divide within the United States. This conflict over the Second Amendment and the attempted removal of firearm rights will ultimately result in the Civil War that will eventually balkanize the U.S. along political, cultural, and most importantly, racial lines.
He was a huge fan of the Balkans.
Yeah, I mean, he referenced that a
He
bunch.
references the Balkans.
He
a bunch.
referenced being inspired by a individual who committed some sort of terrorist attack back in 2011, who was a white supremacist in Norway and committed a terrorist attack in Norway against a different political group. I mean,
let's
all
talk
over the
about
place.
the Netherlands in the 2A. So their 2A is they don't have a Second Amendment. I'm sorry, forgive me, but their firearm ownership policy is very close to the U.S. A lot of people in the Netherlands have firearms and access to firearms. They're not as easy to get as they are in the
Yeah,
U.S.
there's 1.5 million firearms in the nation.
However, there's only 22 gun fatalities, I want to say, last year.
Yeah, this one event exceeded by far their annual death rate.
Yeah.
And you have to have a license to own a gun, and the licenses are given out by local law enforcement if the person is, I forget what the word is, if they're
Of health.
good standing.
Good
I think it was
standing.
good standing.
Yeah.
Weren't on any drugs. They didn't have any mental problems and that sort of thing. So definitely not the Second Amendment. It was kind of like basically Chicago. This is Illinois, except with a whole lot less shootings because the people aren't all fucking criminals like they are in Chicago. But he further goes on. I got to read the rest of this. The balkanization of the U.S. will not only result in racial separation of the people within the United States, ensuring the future of the white race on the North American continent, but also ensuring the death of the melting pot pipe dream. Furthermore, this balkanization will also reduce the USA's ability to project power globally and therefore ensure that never again can such a situation as the U.S. involvement in Kosovo ever occur again, where U.S. NATO forces fought beside Muslims and slaughtered Christian Europeans, attempting to remove these Islamic occupiers from Europe.
What a strange reference.
I'm going to have to go back and read up on the Balkans and our involvement now because maybe I'm wrong. This was before my time when I was a little kid, but I thought it was the other way around, that it was the Muslims going off and mass executing Christians and
I don't
Orthodox.
know. I don't know either. I'm actually
I've been
old to
rusty on
remember
that
this
shit.
as well.
Yeah.
I
mean,
remember
that was
the
a while ago.
Falkland Islands, but I don't think that's the same thing. The Falklands and the Balkans,
No,
two
it's
totally
not.
different deals.
I lose track on the lands.
Yeah. So he then goes on to cite the reason, some of the things that triggered him. was a terror attack in Stockholm in 2017. Says he's been planning this event for 2 years. He's been casing these two particular mosques for 3 months. He says the reason he attacked these mosques is because they have extremist past. They've been linked to extremism. But
he tried to say that he didn't just decide to start popping off on a random mosque at random Muslims, that he specifically targeted them due to what he believed was their extremist teachings and extremist beliefs. Almost like he thought he was going to save New Zealand from something further, that this had to be done before they struck first.
Yeah. He references multiple times Ebba Ackerland, which was a young girl that was killed, quote unquote, young, innocent, and dead Ebba. Ebba was walking to meet her mother after school when she was murdered by an Islamic attacker driving a stolen vehicle through a shopping promenade on which she was walking. Ebba was partially deaf.
I remember that.
Oh, sorry guys to interject, but I figured out why we don't know about the Balkans. The Balkans Wars are another name for the Yugoslav Wars, which was a series of separate ethnic conflicts, wars of independence, and insurgents fought in the former Yugoslavia from 91 to 2001.
Yeah, I was going to say that was under Clinton.
Yeah,
Is that where we were popping floppies? I'm just kidding.
Listen, Rhodesians never die. Make
Surprised he didn't reference that.
Yeah,
too.
why doesn't he just say make Zimbabwe Rhodesian again? It's constituent republics declared independence despite unresolved tensions between ethnic minorities and new countries. So that was the Yugoslavian wars. We were alive for that. We probably don't remember it, but
no, I remember it was under Clinton because that was the first time there's been a lot of U.S. work with NATO troops, and there was all kinds of
So furthermore, page 12, he interviews himself again about why did you choose to use firearms? To which he replies to himself, I chose firearms for the effect it would have on social discourse, the extra media coverage they would provide, and the effect it would have on the politics of the United States, and thereby a political situation of the world. The U.S. is torn into many factions by its Second Amendment along state, social, cultural, and most importantly, racial lines. With enough pressure, the left wing within the United States will seek to abolish the Second Amendment, and the right wing within the U.S. will see this as an attack on their very freedoms and liberty. This attempted abolishment of rights by the left will result in dramatic polarization, yada, yada, yada. So, again, 2 times in his manifesto, he's saying that he did this just to cause us to fall into civil war over the Second Amendment. He did it. He's feeding it to the left.
It's
I don't really understand
It's
why.
a soft pass. Yeah.
This isn't the first time this has happened.
Hand throw.
This is going to happen more and more and more.
It's
Divided we
weird,
fall.
and the fact that I won't say this is going to result in a civil war. That's a bit naive. But the fact that it is, other than that, causing more tensions and that to be brought up again, he's dead-ass accurate.
Did you see what's fucking going on in New York right this second?
Yeah, that was... Man, and personally, I'm going to say, whatever. People can call me a fucking asshole. Maybe I am a fucking asshole. I could give a fuck less. So TJ pulls up fucking pictures of, right now in New York, Muslims, mosques with
straight up SWAT teams.
4 to 6 SWAT teams, full tag gear and everything, standing in front of the door.
There are literally 4 to 5 armed tactical officers at every mosque in New York City spending taxpayer dollars today to protect the Muslims in New York, even when there's no credible threat.
Well, on the devil's advocate, would you rather see Muslims, and don't get it twisted with this because this can be construed as pretty bad, but would you rather see a Muslim hit squad out in front of the mosque, or would you rather see a U.S. law enforcement agency out in front of a mosque right now?
Did NYPD send SWAT teams to every Catholic or Christian religious church in New York after the church shootings in the South last year?
That would be no. Because...
Yeah, no.
Or anytime ISIS went through Iraq, which was starting to have a booming Christian population with the war dying down and, that being an opportunity now. and went through and literally slayed entire churches of Christians. You never
Didn't
heard
ISIS
anyone
just
get
like slay an entire church full of Christians in like Nigeria or Nairobi or some shit?
Yeah.
A couple months ago.
It's
And
also happened
the
in the
media didn't give it nearly as much coverage. Nearly.
Well, it's because it's not a hot issue. I mean, white
'Cause
people
it's
die-
Right. Christians
people
being killed by
die
Muslims.
all the time.
Christians
Nobody
being
gives a
killed by
shit.
Muslims is not a big fucking deal.
Right.
Muslims being killed by, he's not a Christian either,
Yeah.
by a white dude.
Yeah.
That's fucking, all of a sudden, the biggest media shitstorm to hit the fucking global news
Yep.
in the history of the world.
And what I'm thinking is what would stoke the fires even more? Have a bunch of Muslim guys out in front of the mosque with guns, or have a law enforcement agency out in front of the mosque with guns?
Personally,
what would
separation
stalk?
of church
I'd
and
prefer
what
to
would
have the
stalk it more?
Muslims out in front with guns and have the cops pull up and go ahead and take care of that problem real quick. Because it's New York, they can't do that shit.
Can't have guns in New York.
No.
Yeah.
Can't have anything in New York. Did you hear? It's completely regardless of all this. No Meat Monday in New York. I'm dead serious. Just side note on this. They're talking about the fucking ridiculousness that is New York. The governor came out and said that meatless Mondays in schools to help the environment. I'm dead fucking serious. To save the environment and to help kids learn better, no meat will be served in school on Monday. It will be a vegan diet on Monday. I'm dead fucking serious.
Wow.
And that is New York's solution to fix global warming. No Meat Monday.
I think we're getting off on a bit of a rabbit trail here. So he says, did you intend to survive the attack? So he goes from, he asks these questions. I'm noticing, do you feel any remorse? Did you personally? Did you? He goes from the past tense to the present tense in these questions to himself.
He basically did a podcast with himself.
Yeah. Did you intend to survive the attack? Yes, but death was definitely a possibility. Blah, blah, blah. Survival was better alternative to death in order to further spread my ideals by media coverage and to deplete resources from the state by my own imprisonment. He goes on to say further down the page, did you intend to kill police officers or other enforcers of the state? He says, no. The police force in New Zealand is on overall good terms with the public, and unlike the European nations such as France, the UK, or Norway, they have so far remained loyal to the people. So harming NZ police officers was to be avoided at all cost. And then he goes on to say, if it was, he would try to shout down a police officer. That was his plan. And if he had to engage as a police officer, he was going to only target non-vital areas of their body, such as anterior of the thigh, shoulder, or side on through the shot of the calf, hamstring, or gluteal muscle, shooting him in the ass, so as to cause the least amount of harm to the officer as possible and allow for quick recovery. How this worked in reality? Well, only you know.
Which, from what it looks like in the video, he literally saw him coming, threw down his shit, lay down on the sidewalk.
Well, yeah, he says, I'm not going to kill cops.
Yeah.
I mean, as I say, he's not a nut.
No, I'm sorry. People are going to say, well, he is a nut. You can't say he's not crazy because no sane person would go shoot up a bunch of people. Okay, I see that argument, but at the same time, a sane person wouldn't, or an insane person would not have put this much attention to detail.
He put thought into it.
Wouldn't have given his legitimate, in his mind, reasons for doing it, and then made sure to not engage law enforcement and just peacefully surrendered.
You know, I think the best course for media outlets would be to actually stick to the document, to not put your own conjecture in, which we know is not going to happen.
Fuck no.
It's not going to happen. Stick to the document.
Honestly, the
Stick
best
to
thing
what he wrote, because what he wrote outlines exactly why he did what he did, what his
Well, I'm
thoughts
sure they're
were.
going to suppress what he wrote. We even considered that. You know, should we even talk about this? Give this guy a fucking stage?
I don't want to give him a stage because I don't think that ideas like these need to be furthered.
No, but at the
These
same
are
time,
scary ideas.
the stuff about his intention for this event to affect American politics, American law, and American cultural divide. I think it's important that we read these things. So that's what I want my listeners to come away with. that this was done very intentionally to further divide America and to further the war on the Second Amendment by the left.
And we'd be stupid if we thought that this is going to be the last incident to...
No, we're going to have fucking
decide
copycats in 30 days, I guarantee it.
Well, I mean, that's one of the things he covered in there is, what dark shroud does he work for? What is he Antifa? That was a joke, but
because that was all.
Is he military? Is he a false flag? Is he a prophet? Is he working?
CIA,
is
Fed,
he working for
Mossad.
the fucking Illuminati? And he says no. He goes, but I appreciate your skepticism about that, but keep that skepticism because future shooters will be, which
Or is this totally not ATF guy?
Yeah. Or is it a troll?
He didn't shoot any dogs.
That's true. Good point.
Are you a supporter of Donald Trump, it says? As a symbol of renewed white identity and common purpose, sure. As a policy maker and leader, dear God, no. Okay. Then he goes on to say, are you a nationalist? Yes. Are you a Nazi? No. Are you anti-Semitic? No. Let's see here. Are you conservative? No. Are you a Christian? When I know, I will tell you. Are you a fascist? Yes. For once, the person that will be called a fascist is an actual fascist. That's his quote. But if you read the rest of this shit, he's a socialist.
So a lot of times reading through this, he would specifically, there's no way he unknowingly did it. So the only thing I can conclude is that he knowingly contradicted himself in a very sarcastic way, almost to just fuck with everybody. And I think more than anything that this is done to troll the media.
Right. I think it's done to troll the whole fucking world.
Yeah, I think he's having a good laugh over it because we're sitting here looking through his manifesto while the fucking press is out there devising their own story to how they can slide it, and he's just having a good laugh.
Well, the thing is, he's still alive too, which means he's going to put out his opinions more. I mean, this is going to continue on.
Listen to this. I expect to be freed in 27 years from my incarceration, the same number of years as Mandela for the same crime.
That's
a bit crazy.
Is it though? I mean, I hate to say is it though, but I mean, Mandela was a fucking brutal guy too, and I mean, not by himself did he go execute people, but I mean, he led to the killing of a lot of people as well. I mean, Mandela was not a good guy or this hero that the fucking left makes him out to be.
You mean Mandela and Che Guevara weren't good people?
Yeah. Oh, strange, right?
So here he says, are you a Fed, shill, Mossad agent, false flag, patsy, infiltrator, Antifa, glow-in-the-dark, etc.? No, but the next person to attack could be, so healthy skepticism is a good thing. And then it gets to the murder marketing part. What do you encourage us to do? So now he's asking himself a question as us.
That's the core thing he wants everybody to get to. I think you give a fuck about the rest. That's his core of his fucking writing.
Yeah,
basically he goes, I'm not going to read this one, but basically he says, yeah, go out, get trained, go kill everybody.
Well, in the rest of that, after when you get in the back into the different sections of it, he actually outlines what, okay, you're a European, here's what you need to do. You're in the U.S., here's what you need to do. I mean, if you wanted to go by his way and kind of follow in his footsteps, he outlines basically what it takes to do it and the steps you should take as an individual to do it, which is the real reason I don't think we should release it.
I think it's scary as hell because when you look at it, I love all of our fans. I love all of our shitheads. Some of them are straight up fucking nuts, right? I mean, we have them in the store every once in a while, and we go condition red, because these guys are scary nutty. But as a whole, we love the tactical shit community. But to have 14% of our community, or 15% basically, kind of putting this guy on a pedestal as a hero. That's a bit concerning. It really leads me to believe that we are going to see people following his lead, and that this is going to be more than just your average mass shooting. I think this is going to some things are going to change here. I'm not sure what, not sure where.
Can I read something so we've got the 14%, 15% now of fans who what he did was a good thing. This is the senator for Queensland. I think Queensland's in Australia, actually.
Yeah.
This
senator,
is a statement.
not a congressman,
No,
a senator.
No, a senator for Queensland, Australia, wrote in response. And this is blah, blah, blah regarding what happened today. I am utterly opposed to any form of violence within our community, and I totally condemn the actions of the gunmen. But, there's always a but. However, whilst this kind of violent vigilantism can never be justified, what it highlights is the growing fear within our community, both in Australia and New Zealand, of the increasing Muslim presence. As always, left-wing politicians and the media will rush to claim that the cause of today's shooting lies with gun laws or those who hold nationalist views, but this is all cliched nonsense. The real cause of bloodshed on New Zealand streets today is the immigration program which allowed Muslim fanatics to migrate to New Zealand in the first place. Let us be clear. While Muslims may have been the victims today, usually they are the perpetrators. Worldwide, Muslims are killing people in the name of their faith on an industrial scale. The entire religion of Islam is simply the violent ideology of a 6th century despot masquerading as a religious leader, which justifies endless war against anyone who opposes it and calls for the murder of unbelievers and apostates. The truth is that Islam is not like any other faith. It is the religious equivalent of fascism, and just because the followers of this savage belief were not the killers in this instance does not make them blameless. Then he quotes the Bible, all who take the sword shall perish by the sword. So, if I may real quickly respond to that, because this is, if we're going to be honest here, I am completely fucking, I don't even know how to respond to all this, because I see every single side to this, and it is very confusing, and I'm not going to take a stance because I don't fucking have to. Right. That's the nice thing about it. But what I will say is, on every single side of this, there is little bits of truth, and this is shocking to see the senator come out and say that. However, there is no arguing.
No, the media is already calling him a right-wing nutjob.
See, and he specifically states that he isn't right-wing.
See, I think that's what's going to happen is
Nazi!
He's going to, whatever.
Shut up!
All right.
What?
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I think it's kind of awesome that he is going to, stick his neck out like that, because that's basically what he did. He's going to call it as he sees it.
He's not wrong. I can't disagree with him.
And for 100% is fucked up as what you believe he might have said was, he's not wrong.
Now, I'm going to go say something that will further piss off everyone, and I don't fucking care. This is just the fact of the matter. I have studied religion quite extensively. I have taken courses on Catholicism, Taoism, Judaism, Christianity, fucking Zoroastrianism. I mean, damn near every religion, Confucianism, Buddhism. I've read the Hadith. I've read the Quran. I've lived with Muslims. I've had them help me fucking learn their language, for fuck's sakes. I mean, I've learned all sides of shit. I grew up, I've been Baptist, I've been involved in Christianity, I've been involved in Lutheran, whatever the fuck. I'll say this. Every fucking religion out there has had a history of violence. Mm-hmm. Cannot convince me otherwise. Other than Lutheran, not so much. They're relatively new on the religion side. Catholicism had the Crusades, which was basically a way to
take back the Holy Land.
No, it was a way to take back trade routes because the papacy was losing out on tax income coming from trade routes that were being compromised by Islamic societies. But I'm not going to get into that tangent right now. How dare you try to draw me into that?
Hey, what's your master's degree in?
Shut up. But there has not been a religion out there that has not had even fucking Buddhism. Don't fucking try to bring that one up because I know you motherfuckers are. Every religion has had at least some sort of splinter cell that has been involved in violence. That is what religion is. Is religion in itself bad? No, it's the people involved in religion. I used to always say church would be a great place if it wasn't for all the people. Religion is a great thing without the people. But as soon as you get human involvement in it, because people are generally bad, you work hard to try to make good decisions and do right things, but as a whole, people are bad.
You know why I like being Catholic?
Oh God, here comes what?
Well, because in my church, I've got at least pews for concealment. One thing I noticed in this deal was there was no place to hide. You cannot hide behind a road.
No, I can honestly say I've never been in a mosque, but I've seen inside one or two. That's like a big no-no over there, honestly, obviously. And no, there's literally nothing. You line your shoes up against the wall. There's the rug.
See, in my
for
church,
some reason, I wasn't really welcomed in
my
mosques.
church. I got hardcover behind Mary. I got hardcover behind Joseph. I got concealment every 3 feet.
No,
You know, in the mosque, they had nothing. These people were just in a big room of nothing.
Yeah. But my random-ass tangent on that is I get that because people love to, Crusades, Christianity, kill people, Yes. Hundreds and hundreds of motherfucking years ago. As far as I'm aware, to this day, Islam is still the only religion that is still massacring people and wiping people out left and right in the name of religion. You occasionally get a whack job like Timothy McVeigh and blah, 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 shit like that.
Tactical Timothy McVeigh's.
I mean,
Yes.
I think kind of on the same tangent. You know, if white people did it, it would be fucking Nazism. I mean, we'd be branded as Nazis. We'd be branded as white supremacists. I mean,
But when it comes down to it,
it's racist as fuck.
Islam's the only religion that's still
Yeah.
doing it, and you can't claim racism because Islam is a fucking religion, not a fucking race. And I
Right.
hate when people try to claim that. But in all reality, there is no arguing it. Islam is a violent religion. All right? I legitimately, not like I almost converted, but legitimately came back after Iraq, and before I deemed whether that is how I should look at Islam or not, I read the Hadith. I read the Quran. I got to the point where I honestly strongly debated attending a Surveyed mosque multiple times.
We need to keep our eye on this motherfucker.
Except for the fact that I knew that would probably put me on a list.
He's
U.S.
got a-
military
he's got a
veteran
beard
comes home
and
from
everything.
Iraq and goes to fucking mosque. Yeah, that would look great. So
Yeah, I could tell the Hadith didn't affect you. You still got lip hair.
Exactly. What? No, you only shave right before you do one of the 5
hustler
pillars.
bars?
Hustler bars?
I said a Aloha snack bar.
Yes. Or at least clean it up
Yeah,
before you
my
do
understanding
Aloha
is
snack.
true believers in the Hadith don't have lip hair. They have beard, but their lip is cleanly shaven.
I don't remember. It's been a while since I've read it. And the Quran is like, we're giving you tidbits that we might be violent, and then the Hadith comes in with, bam, kill a motherfucker.
It's that Old Testament kind
And
of
then you want to get
Basically,
real crazy.
the Hadith is basically like the NWA.
The start
CD.
to it, and then you want to go hardcore gangster rap.
Yeah.
That would be when you start studying the Wahhabi sect of Islam. That is what Bin Laden followed. That's what Al Qaeda is based off of.
I
That
like
is
Wahhabi on my.
not the same Wahhabi. I know what you're thinking. Not
That's
the same Wahhabi.
wasabi.
Yeah, that's wasabi.
You're thinking wasabi.
Yeah.
He's going wahabi.
Yes.
Not the S, the H.
Funny note, which is a whole other tangent we could get on. It is also the mainstay of the sect of Islam followed in Saudi Arabia, which is the very extremist, kill all the infidels,
Yeah,
kill
but they're
all the
smart enough to
non-believers.
fund it and not actually get caught with their dick dirty.
Yeah, because part of it too is deceiving the non-believers,
right.
and that's where I was going with this. So the whole peaceful Islam, and then I'll shut the fuck up after this. In any religion, you get the group of people who, yeah, I'm Catholic, yeah, I'm Christian, because they go to church on Easter and Christmas, and that's it. So they associate with that religion. Do they actually participate or give 2 fucks? No, because they're out whoring and boozing and snorting lines of coke off hookers' asses on Thursday night after they went to Wednesday night mass or church. You get that sect of people who they're not really fully committed. They associate as a certain religion. Why are you looking at me that way?
I'm like, this is.
I'm not pointing fingers. I'm
This
just
is
saying
why
that
I don't
any
go to
religion.
church. Like,
I don't understand why my nose runs every time somebody talks about cocaine.
It's still winter, man.
weird
That's
shit.
why it's winter.
Yeah, it's cold. in here.
high pollen.
But the same goes for Islam. You get those people who, oh yeah, no, we're not terrorists. We're peaceful. We don't believe that at all. Yeah, because there's lukewarm Muslims, just like there's lukewarm Christians, Catholics, Buddhists.
So what are you
whatever.
saying? You're saying they're not all bad?
I'm saying the ones who are true believers are. The ones
Are
who
bad.
actually fully commit to the religion,
Are
and
bad.
if you're really living by what it says, yes.
Yeah.
Isn't that true
And that-
with like any religion? Kind of is that if you live by the hardcore, It's
Depends on what. There's some forms like Baptist. That shit's fucking scary, man.
They don't even dance.
No, that fire, brimstone, everybody's going to hell. Did you jerk off at all before in your life?
mom-
Going to hell!
my mom's a Southern Baptist.
So she knows what's up, man.
She knows what's up. That woman has the wrath of God. You guys think she's cute, but
Two things they do
she's
great.
got the wrath of God.
Bake sales and you're going to hell.
Yeah.
That's their mainstays.
And beating you with fucking shoes, man.
That's not
Okay, now we're talking about our moms. So, on page 22 of the manifesto, he says, it's a statement now. You are a bigot, racist, xenophobe, Islamophobe, Nazi fascist. And he puts A, B, and C answers under that.
Yeah.
Which you then identified this as a meme.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
It's a fucking meme.
He
He
put a
put a
copy-paste,
meme in his manifesto.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking. He's just taking the piss.
Letter A is compliments will get you nowhere. Letter B is that isn't a question. Letter C, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it says, what the fuck did you just fucking say to me, you little bitch? I'll have you know I graduated top of my class in Navy SEALs, and I've been involved in numerous secret raids on Al-Qaeda, and I have over 300 confirmed kills, and I'm trained in guerrilla warfare. I'm a top sniper, da-da-da-da-da-da. And it's literally a fucking paragraph long.
Which that is a threat that someone who was not even in on a former military page like 10 years ago wrote in response, and it was one of those things where it was so outrageous and classic what this guy said that people copy pasted all over the fucking place and have been using this for legitimately like 10 fucking years. I've seen this float around.
It's an old meme, sir, but it checks out.
This is the first manifesto ever to include a meme.
That's where we're at with these fucking millennials,
This
man.
could be the first viral manifesto ever. And which is why I think something's going to come of this.
It's a good read.
I don't know what that something is. I don't think it'll be good.
Probably not.
Fucking Fortnite terrorist squad that flosses.
Guys,
right before
it's
they
not
blow
going to
up.
be fucking Fortnite. They
It's going
get
to be
shot
the
at and
electric. It's going to be the electric boogaloo.
I don't know
Oh,
what any
God.
of this means other than I've seen it on the interweb.
You know what this? You know
Wait,
what?
you talk about Alexis, Texas, or Brianna Banks or something like that. I know what you're talking about, man.
We're there.
You start talking about 8chan and infinity fucking flossing. I had no
It's
fucking idea what you're talking about.
it's the internet society, man.
Janet Jameson got you all day,
The
man.
future is fucking now, old man.
I don't know if I want to live in this world
Yeah,
anymore.
no.
It's not going to be Fortnite players though. They get shot at.
So,
and build a house, man.
The
It's
last
not
thing,
Fortnite.
we need to bring this to a conclusion. We're coming up on that hard hour, right?
not the soft hour.
Not the soft hour. The main question, though, is could this not have been prevented by a good Haji with a gun?
So then we see this fucking, what is it, Dana Lash.
Dana Lash,
There's a
yeah.
post under hers that allegedly someone claims there's 2 shooters and there was good Haji with a gun who popped some rounds off, but we all know Haji can't do 2 things. Haji don't surf, Haji don't shoot.
Right.
Well, you can't shoot.
Yeah, the Aloha snack bar, Allah was not guiding his bullets down
yeah.
to the infidelis.
Right. So Dana Lesh has put out something in a tweet or something. We'll talk about it later.
I
but
just Rick rolled you.
There might have been a second shooter at the second
stop.
mosque. Because here's the thing. So we watched out of the 17-minute video, we've seen about 10 and a half of it. Okay. We haven't got the full 17-minute video yet. But during the first 10 minutes of the 17 minutes, he only shoots up one mosque. He goes in the mosque, shoots people, comes out of the mosque, shoots a woman, changes guns, goes back in the mosque, shoots the people more, and then comes out of the mosque, gets in his car, drives down the street, starts smoking people on the street through his windshield.
Selectively, though.
Selectively.
You
Guys,
see
he was-
some people he smokes. Then, out of all things, I don't know why this bothered me.
And he was
boggled
shooting
my
slugs
mind.
out of that shotgun.
He stops at a fucking crosswalk and lets a family go through.
And then
just
blows his
sits
horn at
there.
him like, get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah. Well,
and then
he was
keeps going.
picking
Here he
up.
smokes people, and then random people walk down a crosswalk, and he just nothing.
Well,
just
he was-
sits there.
Well, they weren't. They obviously, to him, weren't the enemy.
They weren't
No.
targets.
I mean, he was selective
He was picking up.
as fuck.
Well, what he was doing, he was picking up squirters, man.
Yeah, so he's picking up squirters. You know,
He's
you,
picking up the dudes that come out the back door.
You learn that.
Oh,
Did you
when
learn
people
that?
fucking run, they squirt out
Did you
the
learn
back.
that in Black Hawk Down?
No, I learned that from training.
Oh, in boot camp, I forgot.
what training?
I mean, you know,
You made it to the how to fold your pants part. I'm sorry, that was almost mean. If I had emotions, I would feel bad right now for saying that. but I don't.
Well, I mean, he's
So-
effectively picking out the people that he went there to shoot.
I
and
did
people
not know that was catching.
people-
My understanding of catching squirters was a whole different thing.
Hey, we're actually going to be doing a video about that later called
Jesus.
Glock holding.
Well, he was picking out people that ran out of the mosque that he didn't get when they were inside the mosque.
It's like cuck holding, but it's Glock holding.
Yeah.
It's when you let another man touch your Glock. It's a whole video we're doing later. You're going to be in it. Wait till you catch the hot brass bukkake to the face,
That wouldn't be the first time. Honestly.
dripping out of your own Glock. Anyway, I digress. So the video shows one mosque. They said he attacked 2.
Yeah.
Okay. There's no video of it. And was there more than one shooter? I don't know.
Maybe his camera
This thing says there wasn't. It says it was all him.
They had multiple people in custody.
Yeah.
There's still, and this is still. When did this happen exactly? Was this
Like
morning?
last night. Well,
Okay.
it was Friday over there, which
Well,
is last night sometime.
I mean,
I know we broke the story at
I do have his
midnight
post.
or some shit.
I do have his post. His post was made 3/15/19 at 2:28:41, wherever he was posting from, which I'm gonna guess is New Zealand.
Yeah, we're not gonna be able to convert time right now, but it was about 12 hours ago, I'd say.
Yeah.
You know, from the
So
time
there's
of this
still a
podcast
lot of
recording.
information that's not even out yet.
Oh, absolutely. At first, the news media was reporting that the names on his guns, all those white words and stuff, were the names of other mass shooters. Turns out they're terrorist victims.
Yeah.
The guns that he used, the 2 AR platforms that he used, both had what appears to be Hera stocks on them, which are New York compliant thumb hole stocks.
One of my favorites.
They still managed to kill a lot of people.
Yeah, the Hera, the Stag Arms ones.
Yeah, well, they're Hera. Stag is the American distributor for it.
Yeah, they made them look like fucking space guns.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite pieces of
Right.
the stock.
And he used a fake aim point on one gun and a fake ACOG on the, or not a fake ACOG, a fake EOTech on one, a fake aim point
Well,
on
it looked
the
like
other.
a sight mark.
Yeah, it looked like some cheap ass shit, but obviously it worked. And it worked extremely well. So, at Tactical Shit, we don't condone the killing of innocents in any way ever.
No, you know what I condone? Be situationally aware at all times.
Yeah.
There.
And so you guys are going to have fun commenting in the comment section on this one.
Oh, I'm sure.
We will be back with another podcast probably sometime next week to continue this discussion because I'm sure more shit's going to come out. And, hopefully this viral manifesto doesn't result in attacks on our soil or, the further evolution of this thing that he's trying to do over here from over there.
You asked what soundtrack was playing when he was running around shooting people?
Yeah.
Initial D.
I don't know what that is.
It's Japanese anime.
So this really was like a real life meme he was acting out then.
He did it
The
for the lulz.
meme massacre. The Muslim meme massacre.
Fucking weird ass shit, man.
He literally had a fucking speaker on his kit playing anime fucking music, anime porn music, that shit you watch.
Mm-hmm.
Where were you last night?
At home.
Okay.
I was on Twitch.
I still don't understand what Twitch is either. I don't understand, like, the past 10 years have kind of confused me. Yeah. It's like I got out and shit was fucking definitely changed from before I went in, and I've just lost track ever since then.
It's getting weirder and weirder every minute.
No, it's weird.
Anyway, that's it for podcast number 22. Talk about it in the comment section. We want to thank our sponsors, STI Guns, right? We want to thank STI Guns. We want to thank TacPack. TacPack right now is offering a special deal called the Glock Pack, I believe, where you can they've already sold out over a third of their inventory. It's all Glock stuff for Glock fanboys.
Hell yeah.
We've got Gat Crank in what is the date today? The 15th. In 10 days. If gun policy doesn't get their way with their lawsuit, their federal lawsuit, bump stocks are going to be a crime to possess, and the Gat Crank and binary triggers will not be. Gat Crank is our sponsor. Thank you, Gat Crank, for your interesting little invention. It's fun to play with. Who else? Wit Machine with one of the smallest suppressors on Earth for the 223.
The Canuter.
The Canuter valve.
Canuter.
And thank you to Hyperfire for making some of the best triggers on the market.
Fuck yeah.
And Right On Optics. Right the fuck on. We'll come back at you with more information about this shooting and whatever happens this weekend, other than getting drunk because it's St. Patrick's Day.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, our Boondock sale's going on right now. No promo code required. Up to 75% off. Shit throughout our store, but we are sold out of fucking rope.